Heidi ho, Twins fans. This is not Lou Hennessy coming to you. This is old Greg Masterson, partial host of the Twins Off Daily podcast. I think this is the time where Lou says, "How the heck are you, Twins territory?" I've got a very small crew today. It is just old Greg and Comrade Cody. So, Comrade Cody, how are we doing?
Hey, the show's brought to you by Twins Daily's Finest, I think he also says. But yeah, stay sweet. So hey Greg, how's it going? I have a question. Do you think that the Blue Jays playing with the Canadian wildfire smoke was a competitive advantage for them at Target Field this weekend?
Honestly, I think that it's probably disrespectful to the Canadian people for them to come down. Like, I think that, in the good old days when, baseball players were also like part-time firemen, like Rube Waddell was a volunteer fireman. He often left games during the game because he saw a fire truck driving down the street, and he's just like, well, time to go fight fire. And I think that baseball was better back then. And so I think that what the Toronto Blue Jays should have done, if they really cared about Canada, which far be it from me to care about Canada, but if they really did care about Canada, I think they should have forfeited the games against Minnesota, and they should have gone on the front lines and fought wildfires. I mean,
no, I agree. Because back in my day, a fireman was somebody who fought fires, but you kids nowadays, fireman to you is Griffin Jacks. You don't know what a fireman
no, it's fire person.
You don't know what a fire person is with your they them bullpen.
Oh, Cody, we're 2 minutes in. This has to wait until like 55 minutes in.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Speaking of 55 minutes in, we've got our walk-off question for this episode. Real short and simple one. Which ballpark do you want to check off this summer? What ballpark are you hoping to see? And even if you're not planning to see one, which is the one that you wish that you could? I think that's everything we need to start or talk about before starting our rapid recap. All right. I think that's how Lou comes out of the interludes. Yep. All right. So this week or week and a half, it's been 10 days since our last show. The Twins went on the road to Seattle, to not Oakland. I keep saying Oakland, West Sacramento, and then came home and faced off against the Blue Jays. They went 1-2 in Seattle, 3-1 in West Sacramento. That's so hard to retrain your brain. And it's not like they even call it the West Sacramento A's. I guess I want to say like in athletics, but that's not how it works either. And 1-2 in Toronto, not in Toronto. Wow, Lou, come back. We're a mess without you. They went 1-2 at home against Toronto. So, Cody, who's hot, who's not with your Minnesota Twins?
Really quick, have you seen the movie Lady Bird, Greg?
Lady Bird. That's the one with Saoirse Ronan, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, see, at the end of the film, it's like a dramatic scene where she's like, this is how I felt the first time driving through Sacramento, because it takes place in Sacramento, and that's how I felt watching A's baseball in Sacramento. Like, it just kind of brought a tear to my eye. But regardless, so who's hot, who's not? Who is hot is Mr. Willie Castro. It's been really great to see him return to his all-star form, I would say. He had 2 home runs in West Sacramento. He also had 2 home runs in Tampa, right? Or am I misremembering?
I think that sounds right.
Yes, but he was great this past road trip. It's really nice to see him come to form, especially considering that some other players in the infield and outfield are struggling at the moment at the plate. So, and I think you wrote about this. It's like we're finally at a place where the Twins can plug Castro anywhere again and feel really, excited or, enthusiastic about it. So that's really nice to see. Also, speaking of infielders, Brooks Lee, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if I'd say he's hot or not. He does have a 12-game hitting streak or a 10-game hitting streak?
Somewhere around there. Double digits.
Double digits, yeah. But it's like the most like 1 for 4 with a single. hitting streak ever. I know on Sunday's game he did hit a home run, and that was a big game-tying home run that eventually led to them winning the game. So, but that was nice. Brooks Lee, I remain encouraged, even though he is off to a bit of a slow start, like a 650 OPS, but I do remain optimistic and think that he will continue to, push his OPS numbers up into the 700s, maybe even the 800s once the season ends. I've also been, encouraged by.
Let me cut in since you led off with Castro and Lee. One thing that I've been, like you mentioned, I did write that thing about how with Willie Castro back now and hitting well, they can basically plug him in anywhere. He's not constrained to being like the backup shortstop or the backup center fielder. Go check that out. Give me a little bit of reading ad revenue if you want to at Twins Daily. And Castro can kind of just do whatever they need. If they want him in the corner outfield, good. If they need him to give a day off for Royce Lewis, good. I think that, like, kind of piggybacking off of that, and might be something that I'm going to write about in the near future, is just the fact that Brooks Lee he's not been very good. He's held his own well enough, but like right now they're not counting on him to be like a great hitter or a good hitter or whatever. Right now they have him like in a utility infield role. And because he has the ability to play, I would say, like a serviceable shortstop and a good third or second base, like you don't panic when Brooks Lee is at shortstop and you feel good as anybody else on the team when he's playing second or third base. He kind of has a little bit more wiggle room to kind of struggle at the plate than a lot of the other infielders that the Twins have cycled in and out of over the last few years or this year. I mean, like if Mickey Gasper or Edouard Julien or Jose Miranda are struggling, they really don't have a choice with those guys because they don't have that defense that they can fall back on. You don't feel good with them kind of at second or third base. Whereas Brooks Lee, I think that one of the really nice things is that he's not being counted on right now to be like an everyday player. He's not like their second baseman or their shortstop or their third baseman. He can just bounce around. He can give guys days off and he can work his way into hopefully being a solid major league hitter, but he doesn't have to do it right now because he is providing value defensively. So I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting about that too is like, yes, Lee is not expected to be, one of the team's primary contributors offensively, but he still is like hitting in the 3-hole often, but it's like, you're fine with it, but you also understand that he's not, going to generate.
I'm not that fine with it, but yeah. Okay.
Sure. But it's been happening. It's been happening a lot recently, which is interesting. But I mean, back to what you said. I mean, with Lewis struggling, you can plug in Lee at third, and then you can have Castro at second, or you can have Lee at second, Castro at third. There's so much flexibility in the infield right now, and also Cody Clemens is part of that mix too. So there's a lot of like patching holes going on, which is really nice to have a guy like Lee and Castro on the roster simultaneously. On the who's not front, speaking of Cody Clemens, it has been a bit of a rough stretch lately. Greg, I know you had the numbers up. What does he look like lately?
So coming into today, over the last 9 games, so since we last met and discussed, so he has got about a 150 average, a 280 on base, and a 260 slugging for an OPS of 541. That went down today because he did not hit before getting pulled for Royce Lewis, I believe. I don't think that he got a hit.
Mm-hmm. And then he hit a home run in Saturday's game, so yes. His slash line would have looked a lot worse if he hadn't hit the one home run, where I think he went 1 for 4 in that game. So my concern is like it was a nice, fun month with Cody Clemens, but he might understandably be turning back into a pumpkin like he was with Philadelphia, which of the expected outcomes of how the whole season of Clemens would have gone. This is kind of the expectation. I mean, the Twins got him for free, same way that they acquired Jonah Bride, more or less. And Jonah Bride doesn't even play anymore. So, I mean, I think going forward,
Jonah Bride has 3 plate appearances since we last discussed anything.
Yeah, might as well have McCusker.
I looked it up earlier today. I looked it up, and I believe he's played 1 complete game since May 23rd. So over the last 16 games, he did start twice. but got pulled early in one of them. And he's come in later in games as a pinch hitter or a pitcher. But yeah, I don't know what I don't like to like say things like he should be cut or anything. But I do not really know what his utility is right now.
Well, I mean, it really isn't there. I mean, but that's kind of a good thing though, because you have guys like Bride, guys even like Harrison Bader, where you don't have to play them as much as you were earlier in the year, because you have your full array of healthy players, and Wallner and Larnick and Buxton, and Lewis is healthy, and he's been getting better the last couple of games, so hopefully that continues to trend up. I know his rolling xWOBA looks good, but overall, I mean. Yeah, there is some interesting stories on like the fringes of the roster. Like would you honestly like rather just have like McCusker up or even Gasper at this point over Bride?
Or honestly, Kersey.
Yeah, Kersey after pinch running. Yeah, I mean
if
that
you're
was the
not
opening
like,
day.
if you're talking about like Jonah Bride has 3 plate appearances over the last 10 days. If you like, they have enough infielders right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that like the last spot on the bench is necessarily a position that they need to have like flexibility with. I would definitely, even with how poorly Deshaun Kersey has been at the plate, if you're not going to start, if you're not really going to play and you're only going to be a late game substitution, I would vastly prefer Kersey over Bride in that case.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, because like Kersey, his role really isn't going to get much bigger than this. I mean, he's already 28. He's not really ever going to develop into like a solidified fourth outfielder like Harrison Bader. So, I mean, yeah, you might as well have him up, fulfill the pinch running role. And then also you could deploy the elite outfield defense of Bader, Buxton, and Kersey Jr. again in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I mean, that would be ideal. And it's interesting because that was the team's decision out of spring training, right? So, like, obviously they did value that, and they had that for multiple months. So I wonder if that is something that they might be considering, but, I doubt it. I mean, the Twins and the current front office loves depth, especially this early in the season. So I doubt we see Bride leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, for sure. That kind of annoyed. I kind of side maybe more often than not in the favor of preserving depth.
Me too.
And I don't like saying like cut his ass or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't understand what the point of Jonah Bride is. I could understand like if they believe that Jonah Bride, I believe he was like a 20% above league average hitter last season.
Yeah.
Like if they see something like that in Jonah Bride, I'm willing to hear it out. Like, but he's not playing at all right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not providing any sort of in-game utility. He's not really he's not a good third baseman. He can technically play second base. And I don't believe that he's like a standout first baseman or anything like that. And so it's like, he's not fast. I mean, technically he did pinch run for Ty France a few weeks ago, maybe. But like Ty France is the only guy I could foresee Jonah Bride doing that for. Speaking of Ty France, I'm trying so hard to wrap my head around like what Ty France is this year. So he's got the most hits on the team. Are you aware of this? Nobody has more hits on the Twins than not Jonah Bride, than Ty France. They're all weirdly shaped white guys.
And they're all like opposite field singles, aren't they?
Yeah. Like he's batting 280, but he has a slugging percentage, I think in the mid threes. He's not hitting home runs. He's not hitting doubles, but he's getting his hits. He's getting on base a fair bit. He is not striking out a ton. He is incredibly clutch, but he's only he's like a league average-ish hitter. I think his like WRC plus is somewhere around like 108 right now at the end of today's games, 106 maybe. Which is
his OPS still sub 700?
It is. I'm sure producer Lenny can find this. His OPS right now is coming into today, which it rose today, but it's 698 coming into today. So I think it's just barely over 7 now. I had it in front of me somewhere.
Well, like it's like you don't expect France to be the type of hitter where like his average is his slugging, like one of those guys. Like you don't really expect him to be that type of player.
Right.
But I feel like he's totally sold out his power for being able to slash the ball around the field, like which is fine. And
he's never really. I will say he's never really been like a big power hitter, even for a first baseman.
Yeah, didn't he like max out
around like 20-25, somewhere around there.
The most he's gotten in the season was 20 with Seattle, right? In like 23.
Yeah.
It's something like that. And it's like, and I know I remember famously like the meme where the All-Star game was like, if the game is tied, Ty France will participate in the home run derby. So maybe, but yeah, I mean, yeah, he's never really been a power hitter, but he has more power than he's demonstrating right now. And I'm fine with him selling out power for the ability to slash the ball around the field. I mean, it is productive. It is nice to see him, hit the ball down the line in right field and bringing in a run over striking out, compared to first baseman of past like Gallo. Santana wasn't a high K percentage guy, but still, I mean, like France is a different player than Santana at the plate. So it is interesting. I think you're on the same page. I don't know what to make of Ty France whatsoever.
And it's like, he's not been bad. It is probably like the position, like as we look ahead to the trade deadline, everybody's like, oh, they could upgrade over Ty France. But Ty France has like not been a bad player. He's been fine defensively and he's been fine offensively. You've got him like on a regular basis, he's batting like 6th or 7th or whatever. And it's like, that's fine, but you can definitely improve on that. Though I haven't looked it up this year yet, but the league average WRC plus for first baseman last year was 107. So just like, I would say that that's average, like an average hitter is an average first baseman. And Ty France is at a 105 WRC plus. It's not like he is being lapped by these other first basemen. There are definitely first basemen who are better than him, having better seasons than him, but it's not like he's being run out of the water as a first baseman for his overall numbers. Obviously the RBI, the clutch performance has been great. I don't know how repeatable that is, but he's actually always kind of overperformed in those high leverage situations, which is, I don't know. I'm a huge guy who believes, or I'm a huge believer. I'm also a huge guy, but I'm a huge believer in the value or like the real, it is real. Like there is like a human process that some people are going to be better in those high stress situations than other people. I don't know how to, like, we can't isolate it. It's really hard to make heads or tails of everything with it, but it's been incredible for Ty France this year.
There is a clutch metric on Fangraphs, I believe, and I think France is like towards the top. I might be wrong, but
he's got an absurd,
he's much more like Yanni Diaz than Christian Walker, if that makes sense. And like there is value. There's a lot of value in having Yanni Diaz specifically, but like, I mean, looking to your earlier point with the trade deadline, it's like, trading for Ryan O'Hearn or Josh Naylor would be really nice, and I would love that, and I would, take those guys in. But I mean, knowing how this team operates, knowing the value of the fact that he's on a $1 million deal, and he's already like more than doubled or tripled his value based off Fangraphs' money value metric. France is going to be the first baseman for the rest of the year. Which I'm fine with. He's been adequate, if not above average defensively too. So I'm more than content with that. It's just I don't know from a long-term angle what the position looks like. That doesn't really matter right now. I mean, it's
been a revolving door for years.
Well, and also your guy McCusker is taking reps there. Your guy McCusker took reps there, and I
did see that.
I don't think that's like a long-term answer, but maybe for this year, maybe he could get some playing time there. I don't know.
Potentially.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I asked around people in the know, and I basically just said, like, there has to be a reason that McCusker isn't getting reps at first base. Like, you look at him and you isolate that that height, and everybody's like, "We'll just put him over at first base." And I mean, I think that if he's reached this part in his career and he's not a first baseman, it's probably for a reason. And so, but when I asked somebody who would know something about these things, the response that I got was, well, it's a long way down. And as somebody who I stopped playing baseball after high school. So I'm not like some expert in this, but I was a first baseman my entire life. And I was really bad at getting down on grounders. I never put it together. That might be because I'm, above 6'6". And then I started like digging around. I'm like, oh, there's really never, I think Tony Clark is the only 6'8" first baseman in MLB history.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like Richie Sexton is 6'7". There's a handful of 6'7" first basemen, but like, it's not actually as common as people make it out to be.
Yeah, there's much more value in being able to like get in a athletic position and get low than there is value being able to like, stay high and catch balls to sail over your head.
Or reach side to side. That's another one that a lot of people don't really recognize. But yeah, who knows? I mean, if he can be functional over there, we put up with Jose Miranda playing first base a lot. If he can just be like passable, if he's not a complete disaster, if he's like anywhere better than 2023 Jose Miranda or 2022 Jose Miranda, sure, let's see it. That might help him get onto a big league roster and maybe have a chance. I want to point out before we move on to our big inning topic, Ty France's splits. According to Fangraphs, high, medium, and low leverage. So in low leverage, Ty France is batting 205 with a 558 OPS, good for a 60 WRC plus. So that's about 40% below league average. In medium leverage, he's hitting 300 with a 754 OPS, and that's good for a 117 WRC plus, so 17% above league average. In high leverage, my man is batting 500 with an OPS of 1233. So he's slugging 650, which still, that's very funny. His ISO power, this incredible 1233 OPS, his ISO power is 150. So it's not like he's like hitting for power still. But his WRC plus in high leverage is 260. So 160% better than league average.
Basically,
it's unfeasible
in high leverage situations. Yeah, well, also the low leverage numbers are very alarming though too.
Yes,
because that's like first couple of innings. So like he's basically like a automatic out the first couple of innings of the game.
Let me see what the breakdown there is. So low leverage it's 117 of his. Or 130 of his plate appearances. About 50% of his plate appearances are in low leverage, and he's almost unplayable at that point. Wow. That's a strange split.
It's honestly a profile that I prefer to not have on the team.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
People forget the runs you score early in the game in low leverage can sometimes prevent you from ever needing to be in high leverage. They all count. Okay, cool. Let's move on to our big inning topic, because I think that do you have anything to say about the bullpen before we get started?
I don't know. I'm so wishy-washy on Griffin Jax, but he blew the game on Saturday. Like, you look at his Savant page, it's always red, always very nice. But like, I don't know. I'm concerned about Griffin Jax. It just feels like he's just not as effective as he was last year or even 23. I don't know. Do you kind of get the same vibe with him?
Yeah, I mean, his underlying metrics are a little bit lower. It's not like a complete fluke that his performance has dropped a bit. I think there's part of it is just that he was so good over the last 2 years.
Yeah,
that it's very hard to maintain that. And he's a reliever. He is also 30. People forget that. Like he seems like he's young, but he debuted as a poor starter in 2021 as like a 26-year-old.
Yeah.
It's not like this guy is Duran, who's I believe now 23, or no, he's like 25 ish. I without Lou here to run things, I'm just making things up. So this is Yohan Duran's age 27 season. It is Griffin Jax's age 30 season. So I think that he's still very, very effective. He's had a few blow-ups, and especially when you're talking about a partial season, it's possible that all of his blow-ups are at the beginning of the year and that he's going to be fine for the rest of it and everything's good. Because he also has those outings where it's like, no, you cannot touch that man. But he's not throwing like he has the last 2 years, and I don't think that that's a huge problem.
But, yeah, I remember in 23, I remember he had like a 6 ERA in May, and then a 0 ERA in June, and like a sub 1 ERA in July. So I mean that could easily happen. I mean, we kind of expect him to be how like Andre Munoz is pitching right now for the Mariners, but that's just not realistic, I suppose. Maybe it's more of expectations versus being actually realistic. But beyond him, I remain very impressed with Duran. He's been incredible. Nice to see him bounce back from last year. His off-speed stuff continues to improve, which is nice because it mitigates the velo on his fastball dipping.
That slider, like it's insane that Yohan Duran just like learned a slider just because he needed one, and all of a sudden, like his fastball drops a few miles an hour, and all of a sudden he's throwing this great slider. It's like, what do you mean you just had that? Because he threw a slider earlier in his career when he was a starter, and he kind of dumped that once he got moved to the bullpen. And so all of a sudden, oh no, he also has a very good slider he can just pull out of his pocket that he hasn't done for the earth sweeper. I'm not sure exactly how they're classifying it.
But, and his splitter is elite. So you're basically throwing Paul Skeens out there for an inning. And it works out well every single time. But yeah, I mean, Varland has remained really good. They use him all the time, which it's really nice to have like a rubber armed guy like that. Kind of.
I hope he's a rubber arm. I don't think that he's proven that he's a rubber arm yet, but
right now he is though, and he can maybe develop into that. It's kind of like Emilio Pagan in 2023. Yeah. After he blew up early in the season, like it was a guy you could just throw in there and he would mop up stuff and be mostly effective. I'm a little bit concerned about Cole Sands too. I know his underlying metrics are kind of down this year too. His velo has dipped. He's still using his cutter a lot, which is as expected, but a little bit concerned there. But nice to have Coolin back. Brock Stewart is trending upwards, which I'm really excited about. And the bottom of the pen, Alcala. It's Alcala. Can't really say anything different. And I'm still waiting to see Travis Adams pitch. So that'll be fun whenever he makes his debut, if he's not demoted first.
Yeah, I'm super excited actually to see Travis Adams, and I hope that they do give him let me temper that. I'm not like seeing Travis Adams as this, super exciting prospect or anything, but I've been really fascinated by the way that they've used him at St. Paul. Effectively, he's basically just gone 3 innings every single time out. I believe he started a couple of games, but the other 12 or 13 appearances for him this year have been out of the pen, and he's sort of been a piggyback or whatever. But they're basically grooming him right now to be a long reliever. That's what they're training him to do at St. Paul, because they have a completely stacked rotation, or maybe not stacked, but like there are legit names in that rotation that kind of force Travis Adams, who's on the 40-man out. So I'd be really interested to see if they try to keep him around as sort of a long reliever type. I don't know what that says for Jorge Alcala. If there's another long reliever already in the pen, and then you've got, a 7th righty who, I mean, I don't know. He had some good outings, but once they kind of put him back into something resembling even medium leverage, he coughed it up again. And it's like, can you really have a long reliever and Jorge Alcala in the same pen right now? I don't know how manageable that is.
When they imploded in Sacramento that last game, it was Funderburk and Alcala who ate up most of the middle innings, and then Bride. Yeah, I remember. Was it 23 when Cole Sands was in the long reliever role?
Yes.
So I wonder if Adams could take that on. That would be nice to have, just like that, like insurance policy, like break glass in case of emergency, if like Festa blows up again, or if Sim comes back and is, maybe you can only get through 3, or, whatever happens. So right now, the way that the rotation is constructed, you want to have a guy like Adams in the bullpen who could eat up 3 innings in case one of your one of the guys who should be in AAA right now kind of gets hit around a little bit during one of his starts.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how they use him. It's possible they have him throw 3 innings and then they send him right back on the shuttle,
which is fine. He's on the 40-man and he has options.
I mean, they have to option somebody for Simeon Woods Richardson.
Yeah,
in the next few days because they activated Coulomb on Sunday morning. Put Zebby Matthews on the 15-day, which puts 9 guys in the bullpen. They need
probably will be Adams. I'm guessing it will be Adams who is demoted.
So, but anyway, I hope that he gets a chance to throw before then. I hate when guys come up and then don't have a chance to put themselves on the major league side of Baseball Reference before they get sent down. Like poor Drew Maggi.
Drew Maggi, Maggi. Sorry. Get to the Maggi.
Anyway. Okay, that's probably going to lead us into our beginning topic, which we solicited mailbag questions from you on Blue Sky and Twitter. Since I'm going to get my 2 Twitters out of the way. You might see we got 2 questions on Twitter and we got 2 questions on Blue Sky within 45 minutes of us starting recording. So thank you to those of you who did that.
Thank you.
That was very short notice, and I appreciate even if they're goofball questions. I'm going to start with the Twitter questions, which were both goofball questions. The Blue Sky were not. They actually will take some thinking. So number 1, we've got Aiden, MV Prelip from Twitter, would like to ask, what do you think Chris Paddock would get on the LSAT? I believe Aiden is taking the LSAT soon here, and that's on his mind. I don't know what the scores on the LSAT are. I don't know what a good score or a bad score is.
I don't either.
Do you have any
idea? No, I went to school for education degree, not law, so I'm very uninitiated in LSAT. Chris Paddock is in law enforcement, so he must have passed it, right?
That's right. He is a sheriff.
Yeah.
You need to know the law to be in law enforcement. They don't just give those licenses away after a weekend of classes or anything.
No, they don't.
They don't give away a gun 3 weeks or 3 days in. I can't think of it. There was this old Simpsons blip where they're like Marge is like in police training and Chief Wiggum's like, yeah, you passed your weekend classes. And there's like a guy in there with her and he goes, when do we get the stinking guns? He's like, how many times do I have to say you have to be here another week before we give you those? And the guy like goes, I've had it up to here with your rules, and then storms out. I don't know, man. Anyway.
Who does Chris Paddock play for, Greg?
Oh shoot! Oh no!
Should I know?
Oh dear.
So.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is so stressful. Running both the production and the itinerary. So it's time for everybody's favorite segment. Is Chris Paddock still a Twin? And as of June 8th, Chris Paddock is still a Twin. Oh dear. Anyway, the second question, and this is Cody, with you not being on Twitter, I don't know if you caught this discourse like a month ago, but do you remember the 100 fellas versus a gorilla discourse?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So Chase Harlow asks, who would win in a fight, 100 Twins fans or a bear?
Is it TC Bear?
Chase Harlow does like to bring up TC Bear in my mentions, so it might be TC Bear, but it might just be a bear.
Is it Jeremy Allen White?
What do you think? Could 100 Twins fans beat up TC Bear, and or could the 100 Twins fans beat up I don't know, a black bear? Black bear for sure. Grizzly
I
bear?
think I think they could beat up TC Bear easily. I think they could beat up Jeremy Allen White. I don't think they could beat up a real bear.
What
Like
is a standard grizzly bear? Like I feel like
the
I could beat up a black bear by myself.
what was like a Kodiak, like
Oh, geez. Let
like
me see. What's a
the bear
Kodiak?
from the Revenant.
Kodiak bear weight. 600 to 1,400 pounds for a male.
Okay, a 1,400 pound Kodiak.
I don't know. I feel like 100 Twins fans is a lot. However, we need to remember that these are Twins fans. So these are Minnesota fans.
Yeah.
And Minnesota fans have never won anything. So I'm sure they would not win a fight against a bear. They would be just moping. They'd be told that they have to fight the bear, and they'd be like, oh, but remember when Gary Anderson missed the kick? We'll never beat the bear. And then they'll just get eaten. That's a good question. I want to put it on the record. I do think that I could kill a female black bear. They're only like 180 pounds. Yeah.
Oh.
180 pounds? Come on now. I have like 100 pounds on that thing.
Yeah, but they have the claws though in the teeth.
Yeah, but I have brains. They don't have very good brains.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you gotta. I mean, once you're pinned though, and the claws and the teeth are out, you're done.
Well,
So
I would not get pinned. I would simply jump on its back and choke it.
I would simply just not get pinned by the bear.
All you have to do is not get eaten. Okay, let's get to the blue sky questions.
Not be in that scenario.
If you're in that scenario, you have already put yourself there, and I simply would not have done that. Those were your choices.
Wait, what was it? Like, would you not sacrifice your family?
Yeah.
I would simply not be in that scenario. You have lost. I am a Christian.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough, Cody. Speaking of people who talk like that, Cody has some questions off Blue Sky to read.
Sorry.
Or maybe he's going to laugh too hard. I will pull up Blue
I got. Okay, this one's from JD Kringle.
Great name.
Who says, what's the Twins 6 through 9, Greg?
Nice.
Starting depth look like right now? So beyond the meme, this is actually a pretty good question. Given the state of the Twins rotation. So 1 through 5, we probably got Ryan, Ober, Paddock, Festa, and Simeon Woods Richardson. So I made a little list here. So number 6, and he's not on the 40-man right now, but I have Andrew Morris. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say that Morris is number 6.
Okay, and then 7, this is where it gets tough because I know Marco Raya has a 40-man spot, but I don't think they would call on him if it got to that point. So 7, he
hasn't. I want to interject. Marco Raya has not been for his entire career. He has not pitched like more than 3 innings at a time. He's also just really struggled this year. So to add context to why you say probably not Marco Raya, the last starter on the 40. He has not put up innings and he has not pitched well this year really at all. So it's probably a smart idea to skip over him in this conversation.
Yes. Typical Comrade Cody for getting context. 7, I have Travis Adams ?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. He also has not been pitching super deep into games, but he's on the 40-man roster, or he's not been putting up a lot of innings, but he is on the 40-man roster. And if they needed to go to him, I'm sure that they could say, give us 3 or 4 and we'll stitch the rest together with a bullpen every 5 days.
Yeah. At that point, you're kind of at like opener phase where like you're starting Alcala for an inning or Topa. Okay. Number 8, I have Darren McCacken. So he threw 5 innings the other day for St. Paul. So I wonder if they would give him like a 4-inning start. They like McCacken. I mean, he's done pretty well this year, so I think McCacken would get a start eventually. I'd maybe even see McCacken before Adams. And then number 9, I have the Dauber.
Yeah, I think that question would be whether they would go Dobnak over McCacken or McCacken over Dobnak. I think though that is probably the 9 in some order. Technically, they could look to Corey Lewis, who's the 5th guy in that kind of packed AAA rotation that started the year. He has not looked good either. His ERA is in the 9s. Beyond that, I think beyond those 4 names, I don't think that they would dip into Corey Lewis. I don't think they would dip into Mark Araya, even if, we're talking about 4 more guys going down, which I really hope doesn't happen, but that would be like your top 6 are gone. So I think that would probably be the 4 in some order. I think that they might have preference for Dobnak over McCacken just because of the longevity. But it saves a few $1,000s because he's getting paid his $3 million no matter what. That has to come into
care about that
discussion. That's a joke mostly. The other thing that I would say is it's possible that before they get to Dobnak and McCacken, they would just claim somebody off of waivers.
I was going to say they could trade for Iverson Castellano.
How's he been doing? Does anybody?
I'll look him up really quick. I'll look him up.
Okay, cool. I will start reading the last question then. Okay. And that is from I've never actually read this guy's name. Fried Bryson Beans.
Yep, Fried Bryson Beans.
Okay, so I guess this guy's name is probably Bryson. That's a fun pun. So the question was, what season would you rather have? Win the division but lose in the first round of the playoffs? It's typical Minnesota sports. Or make the wild card, win the wild card series, but then lose in the next round? Typical Minnesota sports. Do you have numbers on Iverson Castellano?
So he's in Double-A. He started the season in High A. He has a 5.06 ERA over like 18 innings pitched, but like a 3.16 FIP. So not very good.
Okay. Well, I don't know. He could have been on the list. I'm gonna go down to my grave saying that I think that they made a mistake giving him back.
Probably.
But anyway, so first round of the play. Get the first round bye and then lose in the division, or win the wild card and then lose in the division. Whew, I don't know.
This one feels like a no-brainer to me.
Okay, what would you rather have?
I would make the wild card, win the wild card, and then lose in the next round.
You definitely get to feel something.
Yeah, like the joy of winning a series. Like it'd be the same thing as 23, and that was a great time.
And I think that the case for getting the first round bye is you get to watch a better regular season, which probably is less stressful, especially if you like coast into that. Which that's not going to happen this year. I know that much, but I think that like in the moment, if I know either way that they're going to lose the ALDS because typical Minnesota sports, I think I would opt to be able to watch a wild card series. I would be able to watch at least 2 wins, get that kind of excitement.
It'd be so much fun too.
Yeah, it would.
And it's also like just having like the postseason experience, watching the win is worth it, even if you know you're going to lose.
Yeah. I think that's a good answer. So thank you to the 4 of you who sent in questions, especially on such short notice. That was fun. And I think we were going to probably talk about the pitching standpoint either. I don't know. Do we have anything else to add about the starting pitching? I think that we should probably say that they have not been as good, and part of that is due to injury and fill-ins, whatever, but also Ober and Ryan have not looked as good as over the last couple of weeks as they had, the month prior. This is kind of it makes me kind of appreciate how every single game for like the last month has been, it feels like the Twins could win it. There were very few games where there was some sort of blow up in the first couple innings. There's like, okay, well, I can just tune out now. So I guess, the Twins have gone 11-11 over their last 22 games, in part due to the rotation not being has not been as out of this world as it was for the month prior to that, which is that's expected. And if they can keep going 500 for a stretch, I would much prefer them go 500 for a while before they, rattle off a nice little win streak than, live in the doldrums and have them go 2-5 over the course of a week. I'm taking this.
Yeah. What I kind of wonder a little bit, because like the top three, you have faith in Ryan, Ober, and Paddock. Like that's a pretty steady top three, right? And then when you get to the back of it, it's like, Festa, he did well in his first couple starts of the year. And then, Sim, hopefully he can bounce back, perform like he did last year. I wonder if, ironically, with David Popkins in Toronto, because their scouting report was to jump on first pitch. And that worked really well the first 2 games. I wonder if that is kind of like a playbook the teams are going to follow from now on when they face guys, especially like Ryan, who throws fastball like over 60% of the time. I mean, teams have always known that, but they could maybe kind of ambush Ryan and Ober and Paddock, and then know that like Festa and Sim are not going to give his quality of starts. So I wonder if we see more teams jumping on first pitch as we move forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real storyline for a while. I don't know how long Matthews is gonna be out, but he's got a shoulder issue. Pablo has a shoulder issue. I mean, that does take a chunk out of your rotation and out of your depth. It's possible that Chris Paddock does not continue to pitch like he has the last 2 months. So, it's gonna be really I don't want to say make or break, but it's going to be really important to see how this pitching staff holds up, and to see if this offense, while it's at full strength, for how long that's going to last, if they're going to put up enough runs to win games without the pitching completely dominating every single game.
Yeah.
Also, the bullpen. I'm curious how we're going to get a lot fewer innings out of our starting rotation, the starting rotation. How is that going to affect the bullpen? Are we going to see more guys cycling in and out who are going to throw 2 or 3 innings and then get shuttled down to St. Paul, which really hasn't happened to this point?
And then, based off the earlier question by JD too, it's like you really only have faith in one more guy who's a AAA, and he's not even on the 40-man race right now.
That's debatable. We really have not. We have really not seen how.
I mean, I personally am kind of high on Andrew Morris, so that's probably like me specifically. But yeah, I mean, we don't know what he looks like in the majors at all.
It's not like he's been completely dominating at St. Paul this year. He has an 8 or a 3.8 ERA,
which is still good. It's good.
And I think that it's almost become a cliche, like knee-jerk thing to say every time that Andrew Morris comes up, but there are a lot of rotations. There are a lot of Twins rotations where he would either be your 5th starter on opening day or he would be your next man up. And to have him be your 3rd man up, it's fine.
Well, and also AAA and CHS Field are very, pro or like offense, friendly environments. So there is, like, if you adjust it, there probably is reason to think Morris would perform better at Target Field, even though it is more of a hitter-friendly park lately.
All right. Okay. I think that's good. We have managed to get to 48 minutes. So let's get into gripes. It's time for everyone's favorite segment. You can always count on. Wait, no, we're not doing Greg's gripes today. We've got something special for you. So what Claire, Lou's lovely wife, did is she's got some complaints about Lou, and so we are going to, in his absence, read off his wife's gripes about Sweet Lou Hennessy. So first, Claire's gripes. He constantly leaves just one item out when cleaning up after dinner. Just one every time. So is this like, I assume he's putting everything away and there's just a stray ketchup bottle that gets left on the kitchen table? You know what? I approve that one. That is kind of annoying. Good on Sweet Lou for putting things away, but you got to put everything away, buddy. Come on now.
Yep. He also, according to Claire, makes pizza well done every time.
Yeah, that's gotta. Are you a well done pizza? Are you an underbaked pizza?
I actually like
Yeah.
underbaked pizza more, but I mean, I like both,
Same.
but I do prefer underbaked pizza.
I don't like it when it's brown and crispy.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Because the cheese is gooier and it's like, yeah, you can taste the sauce more, I think, personally. I don't know. But
Yeah. I think this is one that I often do. Regularly tells me stories that I was just present for. I feel like I do that with my wife as well. Did you know that this happened? Yes, I was there. Yeah, that's a pretty regular occurrence in old Greg's life.
So I got married once. Let me tell you about it. Okay. Lou also regularly tells Claire news that they just learned together.
That I feel like those go hand in hand. Lou, come on, man, you've got to have some spatial awareness.
Yeah.
When your wife's around, she is the most important thing in the room, and so you've got to remember wherever she is with you. Come on now.
Yep. Object permanence with your wife is important.
Helps you not misplace her.
Yes.
And finally, no matter what movie he sees and how he felt about it, his review is always, it was pretty good. Well, that's kind of annoying. I feel like, Cody, you have some opinions on this.
Well, I remember in one of our earlier episodes, actually, no, I don't think we were on camera yet. He said that the new Captain America movie was quote unquote super mid. So that's kind of contradicts her claim there a little bit, doesn't it, Greg?
I mean, I would say that Marvel movies aren't movies.
Yeah, they're theme parks. Thank you, Martin.
Yes, exactly. They are not films. They are not cinema. I took a film class in college, and so I can be snooty about my thoughts on movies.
I mean, unironically, I do, and like all jokes aside, I do genuinely agree with Scorsese on that.
Yes, I do too.
Theme parks.
Like it's theme parks. It's sporting events almost. I would also say, but this, Lou, come on, man. Come on. My wife would never complain about me. You've got to step it up. You've got to step it up. That was, though, I feel like we should use Claire's gripes against Lou at different times.
We should.
Like, he thinks that he can get away from being complained at by his wife while he's on the podcast, but we've got to have her like send her complaints to us. And we just like, hey, your time away from your wife, let's remind you of all the things that your wife gets annoyed at you about.
Yes.
I think that's the true mark of
healthy
male friendship.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to do picks to click? I don't think we chose a picks to click. Okay. Let's skip picks to click and let's get into the closer. All right. For the closer today, since we've only got Comrade Cody, I am going to play a round of Stump the Shown only for Cody himself.
I'm battling myself.
I'm trying to stump you. That's what's going on here. I've got a list and I'm trying to stump you with it. So I'm pulling up the board that I have expertly developed that lets us keep track of Cody's. Okay, do we have the board visible on the? No, we do not. Give me a second. Let's get that board visible for our viewing audience. Why is this not pulling up? 1 second. Oh dear, this is great radio. Here we go. There we go. Okay, we've got our board out in front of us. I have 21 names for Cody to guess. I need Cody to recall 21 names. And these 21 names are every hitter who has taken a plate appearance for the Minnesota Twins this year. I will give you 3 strikes, and strikes might have to be you time out as you try to remember. But I do have the number of plate appearances on the board visible to Cody so that he can see if he needs those hints. Cody, let's name 21 Twins who have taken a plate appearance for the team this year. What do we got?
Ryan Jeffers.
Ryan Jeffers is number 5.
Christian Vasquez.
Christian Vasquez, number 9.
Ty France.
Ty France is number 2.
Willie Castro.
Willie Castro. Oh, hold on. You don't have a window open with the twin stats this year right now, do you?
No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. I just realized that that's very easy for you to have already had going into the podcast. Okay, Willie Castro was number 8.
Brooks Lee.
Brooks Lee is number 6. Wow, I did not realize that.
Carlos Correa.
Carlos Correa is number 4.
Trevor Larnach.
Trevor Larnach is number 1 in plate appearances.
Wow. Byron Buxton.
Byron Buxton is number 3.
Matt Wallner.
Matt Wallner is number 13.
Harrison Bader.
Harrison Bader, all right, is number 7.
Deshaun Kersey Jr.
Deshaun Kersey Jr. is number 14.
Jose Miranda.
Jose Miranda. Why are you singing in that voice, man?
Taco Bell foot lettuce.
I was trying to place it. Yes, it is the Burger King foot lettuce, number 17.
The last thing you expect at Burger King is somebody's foot lettuce in your... Okay. Cody Clemens.
Cody Clemens is number 11.
Okay. What are we looking at here? All right. Oh, wow. That's more than I thought it was going to be. Okay. All right. Let's think here.
5.
Ryan Fitzgerald.
4. Ryan Fitzgerald is the last one. 3 of them.
Okay. Carson McCusker.
Carson McCusker is number 20.
That 104 is really sticking out to me. Okay. Jonah Bride.
Jonah Bride.
Okay. Oops. Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis. Number 3 or is number 12.
Gosh, who am I missing at that 104?
It looks like I counted Jonah Bride twice. That makes sense. Okay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right.
So you've got 3 left.
Okay. Mickey Gasper.
Mickey Gasper.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's strike 1.
Oh, okay. Luke Keeschel.
Luke Keeschel. We're missing just one name with 104 plate appearances.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's 2. Really quick. Is he on a team right now?
No.
Okay. Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. The people at home are screaming.
Yeah, I feel so dumb right now. I can't.
104 plate appearances. It's 10th on the team.
Yeah.
On the team, got a lot of playing time though.
3, 2, 1, and the answer is I'm totally blanking.
Edouard Julien.
Edouard Julien, yeah, stupid. Ugh. Yeah.
Okay, for redemption, can you tell me the 2 pitchers who have technically been hitters this year? They have not had a plate appearance, but they are listed as hitters.
Joe Ryan.
No.
Okay.
Hint: they're listed as hitters because they pulled the DH.
Yeah, that's kind of so. Is it probably relievers then?
Yep.
Okay, so Topa.
Nope.
Okay.
Nopa.
Sands.
Nope.
Duran.
Yes, Duran.
Okay, and then Barlin.
No.
Jax.
Yes, Jax. The 2, guys who would be pitching the 9th inning after they pulled the DH to, I don't know, let Kersey play right field, I believe is most of it.
Hey, Justin Topa's a closer.
Sure. Okay. Well, Cody, by himself managed to get stumped because he couldn't remember the magic that was Edouard Julien's early April. Better luck next time, Cody. Let's get into our post-game high fives.
I'm happy with
our walk. What's that?
I'm happy with how I did. I thought I did pretty good.
I'm disappointed. So
okay.
I think people need to be told that people are disappointed in them more often than they
That's
are.
A good point. Yeah.
People are just too nice these days. Anyway, so our walk-off question was, which twin would you sit next? No, wait, that's a previous one. I'm reading an old script. Which ballpark do you want to check out this summer? Do you have any plans to check out a ballpark this summer, Comrade Cody?
I think I'm gonna go to Target Field this summer. I haven't yet. I've only seen the Twins in American Family Field. I think I'm gonna go to Wright Field and Wrigley this summer.
Very nice. Yeah, I did that last April I actually did that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember you have the Twins game, and you got that s'more ice cream.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm excited about Wrigley. But I mean, if there was a place I could go, I would love to see Petco in San Diego. That'd be a lot of fun. The Giants Stadium, I think, would be really cool too. Like the whole entire
I did that last summer. It was
California, like Chavez Ravine too would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the number one I want to see is the Padres Stadium. I'd love to see Petco.
That's definitely on my list. I had a chance to go a few years back and did not manage to make it happen, so I'm regretting that. I'm going to check off, I believe 2 stadiums next weekend. I'm going to be flying into DC for probably a Saturday, Sunday. The Nats and Orioles are in town at the same time.
So the Masson series.
So I'm going to probably see Camden on Friday night, and then what's Nats Park's name? I can't think of it.
Isn't it just Nationals Park? Don't they not have a sponsor?
That's probably it. I always want to say RFK. I think that's where they played. I think they played their first season in RFK, but that was probably before you were born.
There's RFK now. What are you talking about? It is Nationals Park. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm probably going to be checking both of those off this next weekend. Go see a friend who the two of us are kind of in that phase of life where we're trying to check off a bunch of ballparks. I think we checked off 3 last year, check off a couple this summer, maybe. Beyond that, I'm maybe thinking about getting to Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the last Midwestern stadiums that I have that I've never been to. So I think that's probably would be my next one unless my life takes me somewhere else. Okay.
I'd love to see the Pirates Stadium and Fenway. I've always wanted to go to Fenway, obviously. And Citi Field. I don't really care to see the new Yankee Stadium. I heard it's kind of not the best. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd love to see every park.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It sucks that the new Yankee Stadium is not the best because it's fairly new. Like it's only like a year older than Target Field.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, like a lot of obstructed views. I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That doesn't make much sense for a park built in 2009, but whatever. They're the Yankees. They get to do whatever they want to.
They have facial hair now.
Which pisses me off. Don't get me started. Anyway, so looking ahead, we've got 6 games before our next off day. The Texas Rangers are coming to Target Field for 3 games, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the Twins head out to Houston for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday game. I don't know why. Like it doesn't feel right that the Rangers are coming here and then the Twins fly out to Houston. Like I feel like if you're gonna be flying into Houston, why isn't it a Rangers and Houston both at the same time? Why don't you just knock out both of those road series in the same week? If the Twins and Rangers are going to be playing each other anyway.
Yeah, it is really funny, like just like how that was organized. It's like the Angels flying here and then going to play the Dodgers like next year. It's like okay, but yeah, I mean, Looking forward, the Rangers still have good pitching, but their offense has been horrible this year. So hopefully the Twins pitching can get, because I know it'll be guys like Sim and Festa will get some starts. So hopefully that will, obviously Marcus Semien, Corey Seager are still very good, but they just have been really slow starts to begin the season. And then Houston's a pretty balanced team. So that'll be a tough series, especially in Houston. But yeah, hopefully they can go, 4-2. Are any of these 4-game sets, or are they both 3-game sets?
They're both 3-game sets.
Yeah. So you hope for 3-3. 3-3 would be a good outcome in this. So
if the Twins can just keep going 500, it would be I hope they commit to the bit. I think it would be awesome because there have been so many complaints over the last few years about the Twins have never actually played like a 500 team. It's always been they're playing 110 win pace and then they're playing at 110 loss pace, and there's never been an in between. It would be funny if the Twins actually just committed to the bit and every 2 games was basically just a win and a loss, or you go 2-2. Win a couple back-to-back, lose a couple back-to-back. I think maybe it would be fun.
Maybe that's the shift that'll happen this year with Borg Schulte as a hitting coach.
The balanced approach, not as much, watching called strike 3. Poor Edouard Julien. Edouard Julien, I think, went 4 for 4 down in St. Paul, so maybe he's fixed it.
Wow.
Yeah. Aaron Sabato has been tearing the cover off the ball. Super excited about that.
I want to say, Greg, I think we recorded longer than Gleeman and the Geek, that one episode.
I was going to bring that up. Yes, we were in the back channels. We noticed a couple weeks ago that Aaron and John released an uncharacteristically short show while John was traveling, and I think I sent Cody and Lou, hey, maybe we should try to beat I think it was 63 minutes. We're at 67 minutes right now. Mm-hmm. So, we did it. And all we had to do is not have Lou on to keep the show moving at a reasonable pace.
Since we're so far in, can I say something somewhat controversial? I don't think.
Oh, geez, man. What? Sure.
Okay. I just want to say we don't know if it was intentional yet, but shout out Willie Castro for the trans pride eye black. I thought that was really cool. We don't know if it was intentional yet, but I thought that was a really nice gesture by him. Also, happy Pride Month to our listeners. Just wanted to get that. I know it's not controversial. It shouldn't be, but I thought,
It would be really funny if Willie Castro did not intend that, and all of a sudden he's like an icon for it.
I put that in the Slack to Brock. I was like, could you imagine if he was just like, oh, I just really like the color scheme.
I feel like that's a trope on sitcoms where people accidentally become figureheads in a movement or something or whatever, and they were just in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're being lifted up as this hero, and it's oh no, actually I liked the colors, so I put that on my face. I genuinely had no idea that was even a flag.
I happened to wear my rainbow shirt on June 1st.
that would be very, very funny. Yes. Okay. Anything you want to plug over at Twins Daily?
I have a piece on Peyton Eales maybe making his major league debut soon coming out. He's hitting for high average, high on base in AAA again. The power is not there like it was last year, but we can maybe see him before the All-Star break, which I think would be fun. I'm also working on a piece on Cody Clemens maybe returning into a pumpkin like we talked about earlier. So I got that on the docket soon. Hopefully, I'm 600 words in, so I have to finish that. But yeah, what about you, Greg? What do you got coming up?
Yeah, I think I've got a two-parter. Like I mentioned, I'm trying to make heads or tails of what the heck is going on with Ty France and who the heck Ty France is. So I'm writing something on just basically asking that question and kind of laying out the pros and cons of what Ty France has been up to this season. And then after that, I'm going to follow it up probably with kind of a more psychological study into we often hear from baseball wonks that there's no such thing as clutch and people's clutch stats aren't repeatable. But there have been some studies by psychologists and social sciences on the clutch gene or what clutch really is or personality traits or whatever. So I'm doing a little bit of I'll dig into kind of that research, see if it's actually like good research or not. There's a meta-analysis from a few years back that looked through like 25 of them. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of research on that and write a little bit about just like clutch in the context of Thai France. That's what I've got working on. Maybe
there probably is something to it. There probably is something to it because I know like Bryce Harper is like one of the clutchest players every year, and it's like sustainable for him. So there probably is something to guys, changing who they are in moments like that.
Well, it's just like I know we might be just getting off on a tangent here, but like it is kind of silly. If you think about you yourself, your performance in whatever you do changes when there is more pressure. Like you personally, I don't know do you ever get like observed as a teacher?
In the classroom, like
so like having like another adult in the classroom watching probably changes a little bit, if not your behavior, your cognition. You're a little bit like
you're hyper aware.
You're more aware of what you're saying. You don't make maybe the same jokes that you might if there's not an adult there, like not to get anybody in trouble, but I know that that's a thing that some educators will do. You might it takes you kind of out of the moment a little bit. You might be getting into a groove and then you remember that there's somebody else in there with you. Whatever you do for work, there are going to be more high stress situations, and the way that your brain works during those times is different. And so it's very silly to just sit and say, oh, well, that doesn't happen with athletes because we can't isolate exactly how to measure it. So it's just irrelevant. Those are two kind of different things. We don't reliably measure clutch. I don't think that taking somebody's performance in high or low leverage situations and like trying to predict it year over year is the best way to do that. No. But from a human standpoint, it's really, really difficult to take a step back and say, oh, people perform different ways under pressure, except professional athletes who are being watched by millions of people at a time.
Yeah.
And maybe that difference is just like some people struggle more in those high pressure situations and some people don't. And so you don't necessarily see like you unlocking extra ability, but instead you are able to execute on mistakes more often, which is different than like unlocking, like all of a sudden I'm a very good, like I turn it on and I've got like this extra gear I can get into. It might not be the case. And maybe it is just, well, if I'm a batter and I'm in a high pressure situation, the other pitcher is also in that high pressure situation, and they might be more prone to mistakes than I am. And so it looks like I'm a better performer when really it's just like I'm staying even and I'm, better able to handle that. And so I'm the beneficiary of mistakes. But anyway.
I feel like a lot of it too is like it's not even like elevating your performance. It's just like maintaining a sense of like normalcy in a high stress situation. Because because this is something that everybody can relate to, like giving speeches. Everybody had to give speeches in high school. Eventually, they become more and more, but like you become more and more comfortable, and it's just like maintaining a sense of normalcy rather than elevating who you are. That's kind of how I interpret it.
No, and that's I think that I like I said, it is just strange to think, yes, this happens to everybody except professional athletes.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, part of the reason that we don't dig into this stuff is because there is no data supporting it or identifying traits or anything like that. And obviously, at that point, you shouldn't waste your time trying to figure that out. Because if you can't measure it, then there are different predictors for performance that are much better. But
because like year over year on Fangraphs, it does change every year. I did know Harper because he is consistently like towards the top, but like it does change year over year. Like even guys like Aaron Judge won't even be on the list, but like that doesn't mean that he can't be clutch. He just might not be clutch in situations that he was given.
Or a fraud,
a fraud
never steps up. We got to get Theo on to rant about his arch nemesis A-Rod. Him and Jose Canseco are like A1 and A2 for A-Rod haters in the world. Anyway, I think that that's enough. I appreciate everybody who stuck around for our not quite feature length recording. We made it an hour and 15 minutes in. If you are still listening, please leave us a good review. Be nice. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your greatest haters. Maybe they'll like you more after you turn them on to the best podcast that nobody's listening to. Or no. What does Lou say? Nobody. You people who are still listening to this, you're not nobodies. The best podcast that you are not listening to. Turn your friends on to that podcast.
Does he say that?
Lou says that. Okay. I believe there's a guy named Max Von Tweeten on Twitter who I believe said that, and I think Lou has taken to that and run with it.
Okay.
We've been called the best podcast that you are not listening to. Anyway, for Comrade Cody, who finally showed up to work, and old Greg, have a great week. That's the word. Have a great week, Twins fans. And as always, stay old.